Church hurt is a thing. How can there be church hurt? We don't label anything else like that.
If youth pastor touched you, there's some church hurt.
That's sexual abuse.
Yeah.
If you get abused at the gym, is that gym hurt?
It's sexual abuse.
How dumb we gonna get? It's sexual abuse. It's not gym hurt.
There's house hurt.
Abuse. House hurt? Well, this idea, we've created a narrative that attaches something to a place, a person.
That's why I believe it's demonic, if not processed through the lens of the forgiveness through the cross. If you don't, it becomes a demonic hornet's nest.
Yeah.
It becomes demonically infused to allow you to live in your bitterness, in your anger, and you got all the justifications in the world.
Yeah.
And that's where I get angry. And I'm like, no, I'm not dancing. I'm not coming to your party.
Most of the things that we label from a psychological pain, suffering, we label it categorically, not geographically.
Wow.
And therefore, the very concept of church hurt is a psyop to push people away from a place.
Yeah.
Just because it happens at home, in a city, at church, at the gym, almost.
I hope this music doesn't hit me with a copyright. Let's see. We'll see.
Becomes more significant because it's at church than it would be if we just labeled it based on the category of pain and problem. I'm not saying we don't have legitimate things that happen, but
yeah, there is a process. There is a real coming to terms with what's happened, but the cross demands that you let it go.
I think there's a lot of logic being spewed here. One of the things I'm striving to be mindful of is the use of logic when real circumstances have happened and you're just throwing logic at them. And the reason I say that is because, especially as a man, as I'm someone who I'm more of a black and white kind of person. I see things, left or right, up or down. It keeps things clear for me. But I've learned that as you're seeking to understand and have like compassion for where people are and what they're dealing with, and to try to hear them clearly, the first thing, like a lot of times you want to do, is throw logic at it, and that's not usually the wisest thing to do. Is to really try to understand what they're saying. And this is not something that's like necessarily wrong for someone to say they experienced church hurt. What they're saying to me is a bit challenging, because it's like, it's demonic to say you have church hurt. I don't think it's that black and white, and I don't think that's the type of logic you throw at it. And that's actually just more of weaponizing your perspective and minimizing what someone else is saying, in a sense to destroy what they're feeling and to not acknowledge it. And that's something I think we have to work on as people, especially as men. We have to work on not weaponizing logic and how we reason through things, because we disagree, or because maybe we've gone through it and we don't see it the way they see it. So because I've experienced what many call church hurt, and I'm okay with calling it that, or just calling it an experience with people who are striving in faith that either lack maturity or intentionally do mean things and need the grace of God extended to them. Because I've experienced this, I've learned that it's a real thing. And whether they call it church hurt or I was hurt by a brother or sister in the faith, we know what they're saying. I wouldn't say it's demonic unless this person is using it to disqualify the gospel, to demean what it means to fellowship, to try to use it as a weapon to destroy credibility of the faith and of the scriptures, and and to hinder people from coming to the faith. That's when I would say, okay, what you're talking about seems to have more of a demonic influence and leaning to it. But for someone just to be expressing that they had a church hurt, and then we throw logic at it, oh, you still go to work, did you have a job hurt? Well, let's just be honest. Work and church is not the same. You got disappointed at the gym. Is it gym hurt? Church and gym, it's not the same. So, just to be clear, I think that you can find solution through logic and help a person kind of like walk through things, but you also have to be willing to understand that the pain that they felt, the experience that happened, and what they're going through is valid and real. And as we're willing to, understand people, excuse me, it will then give us space, hopefully, to be able to articulate to them like the fact that hurt that happens in church with brothers and sisters in the faith, all of us who are proclaiming to be Christ followers, is not exclusive to church. These things happen in our home. These things happen on our job. Disappointment will always be. For as long as humanity is here, offense, hurt will always be. The difference is that with church, God gives a process, a protocol to follow so that reconciliation can happen. And I think that's the difference. Like, rather than just throwing logic at it, like, oh, did you stop going to the gym when your gym hurt? Did you stop going to work when your work hurt? Hear the person. Speak to the pain and see if they're actually looking to reconcile. See if they're looking to actually heal by listening. And if they are, don't just dive into the protocol, like, go get that person. Let's talk about what happened, right? No. If you've been through it, empathize with them. If you haven't, but you understand the pain that they're going through to some degree, sympathize with them. And be compassionate. But also don't just rush to the logical end, And I think just this clip, I don't know much about this whole conversation on their platform, but just this clip was just very dismissive. And this is from somebody who is a follower of Christ. This is from someone who I do oftentimes find myself frustrated with the way, a lot of people go about discussing their experiences in church. And they try to make church hurt exclusive in a way that they now use it as a pass to not go, to not honor God, to say, well, what's the purpose in church? What's the purpose in God? And I don't like that. But at the same time, I'm able to acknowledge that people are having real experiences, real disappointment, seeing true Christless behavior from leaders and from parishioners that is just not good. And we have to be a voice of reason, and it's not like Jesus wasn't talking to people in the Bible that had been rejected by the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the priests for different reasons. I mean, the woman who committed adultery is a prime example of, rather than being forgiven and mercy being extended to her, they wanted to stone her immediately, knowing that they were guilty of things, and that to me is an example of someone having church hurt, saying, I know some of these people have done things like me or other things, but yet, they don't call for themselves to be stoned. They don't put themselves on the front street, but because I've been caught, they want to stone me. That can leave somebody with a heartbreak from experiences with church. But that's why we need to hear them out, and we need to give them Jesus. Bam. That's it right there. Give them Jesus, and Jesus listened to the woman. He was patient. Yeah, he told her to don't continue. He said, go on with your life. I've forgiven you. I'm not condemning you, but don't do this anymore. And a lot of times we just weaponize truth in a way that's not compassionate, and it's not merciful. So that's my thoughts on it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. If y'all had church hurt, how it turned out, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.